Al, gotta get us back on track. All right.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get
I was gonna say this turned into an Astros pod. Like,
and then back to a Cubs Twins.
Cubs, Twins, Astros.
They're horrible. Alex is never gonna have us on anymore.
We're such idiots. Like, we're so smart, but like we're such idiots at the same time.
We just go on and on. All right.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of Too Much Podtar. 30 teams and 30 pods is continuing here. We got the Cardinals up next. So that's the team that obviously won the NL Central last year. So I think they can have a good shot at returning. They lost obviously Marcell Ozuna, so that was their biggest blow in free agency. But I think they still pretty much have the same team as last year. I guess we'll start there though. Like, how their team is made up. Johnny, want to start off?
Yeah, they got. I still like the Cardinals. I mean, even though they lost Ozuna, I think Tyler O'Neill is going to get a lot of playing time now. Mm-hmm. MLB.com has him as the starting left fielder. I like Bader in center. I wish his hitting would get better, but he's a great center fielder. Defensively, they still have the albatross that is Dexter Fowler in right field of the contract, but he's still a decent player. Mm-hmm. Their infield actually is pretty good. But Tommy Edman really stepped up last year. DeJong hit 30 home runs from the shortstop spot. Colton Wong came into his own, hitting 280, stealing over 20 bags. Goldschmidt is Goldschmidt. Granted, he may be not quite as good as he used to be with the Diamondbacks, but the dude could still hit 30 home runs and drive at 90. Yeah. Yachty is still there. His last year, his final year, most likely. He signed that 3-year deal, and I think he's going to retire after the season. They have the kid Ninzer. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but he's up and coming. They also signed Matt Wieters to back up, but I think Yachty, as his MO has been his whole career, is he'll play 120, 130 games behind the plate because that's who he is. Running over the starting rotation, Flaherty's a stud. Wainwright's on his way out. I mean, he's still decent, but Mikolas had a decent year. Hudson, Carlos Martinez, if he could stay healthy, they want him in the rotation. And their bullpen's actually not bad. Helsley is decent. Gallegos I like a lot as being a closer. Unfortunately, Jordan Hicks had the Tommy John surgery. He's not going to be around. I love Jordan Hicks, but he's not going to be around this year. Gallegos is a guy to watch, Giovanni Gallegos. I think he's got great stuff, and he's going to be the closer this year, especially if they're really hell-bent on making Carlos Martinez, which it seems like they are in the spring, from what I've heard, is they're stretching him out to be in the rotation. Gallegos is going to be the front runner for the closer spot. They still got Andrew Miller for another year. Granted, he's older, has had some back issues, but he's still got solid stuff. And they have a bunch of other guys. I mean, Gant, Brett Cecil, they still had. So they signed to a horrible contract, but he's still around as a lefty. Trebia is decent. Alex Reyes, we don't know what he's going to be. I mean, he's another guy. He's almost like he reminds me a lot of Julio Urias from the Dodgers, where he's had injuries, came up young, had injuries. They put him in the bullpen. It's kind of mixing him around. I mean, I'd be interested to see what the Cardinals do with Alex Reyes this year. Is if they try to stretch him out a little bit and maybe make him a starter, but I doubt it. I think they're going to keep him in the bullpen this year and see how his arm responds, and then maybe move him to the rotation next year, see what spring training comes around, if Wainwright retires and blah, blah, blah. But that's my quick overall of the Cardinals. What do you got, Joey?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to mention, too, with Miller, it was weird. Like a couple days ago, he was saying that he lost the feeling on his pitches or something, and he's going to be sidelined because of it. It's like, It's not like he's injured or anything. He just doesn't have like a feeling for his pitches anymore. He's not the same pitcher. Like I don't know what's that. What even is there? Like it's not like he's. I don't know. It's like kind of same. I kind of feel like it's similar to what like maybe something like CC Sabathia went through, where like he lost, velocity, and he has to like figure out how to like pitch again. Kind of
like a dead arm feeling type thing.
Yeah. I guess it's something like that. But it's like he's like going through tests and stuff where it's like I don't know. I thought it was like it's not like it's an injury. It's just like so it's like weird.
It's nerve damage.
Yeah,
it's nerve related. Something could because sometimes in your elbow or your wrist, if you have a burn spur or something like that, it could press on a nerve and you lose feeling in your fingers or something like that. I mean, it could be something simple. Who knows? I don't know.
Oh.
I didn't hear that, but I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like they said he might miss significant time because of it.
Wow.
But
okay, so forget about Andrew Miller.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was gonna. Yeah, did that just come out today?
I think it was today or yesterday or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
I did not know that. But no, I guess you pretty much touched on everything else though with the team. I think there's still those pesky Cardinals, and I'm saying that as a Cubs fan because I have to see them 19 times a year. So there's still those pesky Cardinals, and they probably got better now that you're putting Martinez in the rotation, and they obviously losing out on Ozuna is it's a pretty big loss, but Tyler O'Neill has always shown that he could hit, and now giving him the opportunity, I don't know how much they're really losing because in Ozuna he was kind of declining in the field, and I know he had the arm issues, throwing the ball. I don't know what he just never got his arm right, but so maybe even the defense improves a little bit. I don't know, but and like Edmund stepped up last year. I guess they've been moving him around a little bit, so I don't know if he's going to get some left field action too with O'Neill, so Carpenter can get some playing time, which Carpenter had a really down year last year. So, and Edmund obviously stepped up and, became more or less the everyday option. But if Carpenter bounces back or maybe O'Neill struggles and, I could see maybe them trying Edmund out more in left field to start games, or you could have even Fowler struggling and then he becomes a bench option. But the rotation, obviously Flaherty had a huge season last year, and in particular the second half, which was just incredible and shut down. But and then Dakota Hudson, more of a ground ball pitcher, but he's very solid, with the ERA too, keeping it in the threes, and he'll work deeper into games if he can continue to pitch to contact and get ground balls. But yeah, I mean this team is still dangerous. Goldschmidt, Wong's going to be DeYoung, he really started out well last year and had a solid season. Yeah, I guess it's going to be a question of, do they have enough depth in the rotation? Because guys like Mikolas and Wainwright getting older, Wainwright getting older, Mikolas doesn't scare me at all as a pitcher himself. And then they got that kid, Kim. I'm not even sure where he came from. He came from overseas, I believe, right? He was an international signing, I believe. Kim. Johnny, do you guys know much about him?
No, not much.
Kwang Hun Kim.
No,
I don't think he came through their system. I believe he was signed.
Yeah, he was signed from South Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kwang Kim. He's 32.
Yeah,
well, he's 31. He'll be 32 this year.
Yeah, so we'll see how he looks. I don't know how he's going to do in the spring or, how much he's going to pitch in the rotation. But, I mean, there's a lot of talk about him being a potential, good signing for them. And I admittedly, I don't know much about him. So I can't really speak on him. But, Martinez, and he really wants to start, so we'll see. And like you said with Alex Reyes, I could see them trying to do the same thing with that they did with Martinez, like putting him in the bullpen and then stretching him out a little bit, getting him comfortable pitching, and then bringing him in the rotation. Jordan Hicks, I thought Jordan Hicks had a chance to come back this season, though, I believe, because he had the Tommy John last year, but
I think I saw he should be back like mid-season or something.
Yeah, he might be back. I'm just saying, usually with Tommy John, even when you come back, it takes you a couple months to get comfortable with the feel and everything like that. Like, even though you come back to the major leagues, I always temper my expectations for the next 3-4 months. So if he comes back this year out at the All-Star break or whatever, I wouldn't expect anything really from Jordan Hicks this year. It might be a decent bullpen piece, but if someone like Gallegos takes the closer job and runs with it, I don't see Jordan Hicks taking it back coming off Tommy John.
Right.
So it's just I just meant that. I mean, I'm not saying Hicks won't come back, or because I don't remember exactly when he had his Tommy John last year. But I mean, for someone like him who throws 100 miles an hour, you got to wait. It's like 18 months. I mean, 16 and 18 months.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he hit his top beginning of year last year, then you was still talking August, September, really, realistically, for him to be effective in the major leagues.
Talking about Gallegos, he was like the piece that the Cardinals got with the Luke Voit trade. It was him and what the hell is his name now? I forget now. What the fuck? Well, yeah, he was like the other guy wasn't even good, really that good, but Gallegos is pretty good. Is really good. So
Gallegos is solid.
Yeah, it was a pretty even trade at this point.
He's a really good pitcher. That's the thing with the Cardinals. It's like just when you think they don't have a really good team, they just put together wins.
Yeah,
they just win games. It just seems like they win games. It seems like every year, the past, however, I mean, they've been 80 wins, 85, 90 wins, every single year. They're always there. And that's why I think that, and honestly, looking at their team overall, they're pretty solid. They could put up some runs. They can run the bases a little. They got some good defense. I mean, Wong's an excellent second baseman.
Oh, yeah.
Defensively. Bader's great in center field. They have good starting pitching. If Martinez can step up and be a starter this year, and Flaherty builds on what he did last year, and Wainwright can one more year of solid production, Dakota Hudson, and the bullpen. Gallegos takes the closer job. The rest of the guys set up. Jordan Hicks comes back. I mean, they're a balanced team. Very balanced.
Yeah, I think they'll win the Central again. So.
I do too.
Oh, fuck.
I know you want to hear that, Joey.
No, I don't want to hear that, but
Cardinals win the Central too.
It's a tough, I mean, I can't blame you guys for saying that because I don't. It's with me. It's not that I couldn't see them winning the division because I definitely can, and I'm always looking at it as, I keep my fanhood out of when I'm talking about this stuff. I try to as hard as I can.
Yeah.
Which, so I could definitely see them winning the division, and they're always a thorn in everybody in that division side. So, I mean, they have the pieces, and I feel like that Ozuna loss is going to hurt them a little bit, but I don't know how much it's going to hurt them because, what you're replacing them with and it's like they get these guys out of nowhere. They bring them through the system, or they make like a little minor trade that you just like, okay, whatever, okay, that's an okay trade, and then they get production out of these guys.
Yeah.
Like, Tommy Edman, for example, perfect example. Who was he?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody was expecting him to like play as well as he did last year. And I mean, and they get this kind of production regularly. They find these guys, and they find these hidden gems, or they produce these guys. It's like it's the Cardinal way. And I could definitely see them winning the division. I don't think they will, because repeating in the Central is very tough because of how many good teams there are in the Central.
Right.
So that's why I don't think they're going to win the division. I think it's going to be. I mean, I do think the Cubs are going to win the division. I'm not sure.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, but I'm being
highest in
the World Series. So
I mean,
yes, I brought the Twins. Sorry,
hey, you brought the Twins in again, and I didn't mention the Twins.
Come on. I actually edited out.
Again.
You could have edited out, yeah. Bleep it.
The last episode, I edited out the part where we talked about the Twins, or like the whatever.
It's gonna be a cuss word from now on. Every time Twins,
Bleep.
It's gonna be a cuss word.
Just bleep it out. Yeah, there you go.
But no, I mean, I know this isn't a Cubs podcast, but I mean, we're just talking about the Central as a whole, and I mean, the Reds got way better. The Brewers, I think they took a step back. They're going to take a step back this year. The Pirates are god-awful. So it's really between – and, I mean, the Brewers are still going to put up a fight, don't get me wrong, because they're not terrible. I mean, I could see them finishing around 500. Yeah. Being a team like that, or maybe even slightly above, if everything goes right for them, they could still be in the hunt. But I don't know. This team, they always scare me because they're the Cardinals. But I feel like there's other teams that have gotten better, and I'm not saying the Cubs have gotten a whole lot better. They need more of like the bounce back type of seasons from guys, and then guys to stay healthy, like Wilson Contreras not to play 102 games, or things like that. Ian Happ to become the guy that they thought they had. Stuff like that, maybe and take that center field job and run with it. Kimbrel coming off of a full spring training, see how he does at the back end. They need stuff like that to go right. But I do see it as possible, and I see where it could go. And they still have the studs around it, to do it. But I don't know, man. I it's so tough to repeat in that NL Central, and I feel like the Cardinals are going to slip back. I feel like they can compete for a wild card too. Obviously, I don't know where to put my prediction on them. I'll let you guys do your predictions, because I don't even want to give it a number right now.
Well, Alex, what do you think of the Cardinals? I mean, what's your assessment?
Well, like I think they'll win the division again. I think Flaherty is going to be like what he was again. I think they're, as we talked about, their hitting is going to be pretty good. I don't know what to put on their win total. I'm not sure. Probably something around. Let's see. I'm gonna look at their over under. Where is it? Let's see. Yeah, over under is at 87.5. So I'd probably go over, say like 89. I think they'll get to that. I mean, 89 is kind of low, but I think it's because like the division is so like kind of stacked that it's going to be so like 89 wins is going to win the division, just as like everybody's in it except for the Pirates. Well, I mean, no, I mean they're going to the World Series.
Yeah, Pirates Tigers.
God. And Giants maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
We might have to switch it to Giants and Tigers. I think that's a better World Series.
It's a Johnny Cueto, Cy Young.
Oh yeah.
The Shark.
The Shark, yeah.
Brady.
God damn! I would literally lose my mind if they even made the playoffs this year. Any of those three teams we just mentioned. But anyways.
Oh yeah. I don't know. What's your...
Honestly, if I had to predict the Cardinals win total, I'd have to go along with you, kind of, Alex, 89, 90, because the National League is like that. Aside from the Dodgers, who will probably win 110 games this year, aside from them, the NL East and the NL Central, I mean, honestly, 90, 91 win. That's going to win a division. That's going to be like all of them. They're all going to be the Cardinals, the Reds, the Cubs, the Mets, the Phillies, the Nationals, and the Braves are all going to be like 85 to 92 wins. All of them.
We're gonna get mayhem. We are gonna get mayhem.
They're gonna get a tie for.
I want to see 8 teams finish with the same record. That's what I want to say. I want to see 8 teams.
I hope the Cubs win the division and everybody else can finish with the same record. They just,
of course you do.
They can all tie for the first and second wild card and the East division. That's fine.
But honestly, I'd probably go with the Cardinals. I'd go 88. Just to be a little different, but 88, anywhere from 86 to 91. Yeah. If you get a 5-game swing, that's what I'd say for the Cardinals. But I'll go 88. I think they win the division with 88. To be honest with you.
Yeah, that's why with these over-unders, I've never bet on any of these. Like it's so hard.
Yeah, the ones like especially teams like this. Yeah,
you never know a trade deadline.
Yeah.
Stuff is, you get that piece. You get that of the starter. I mean, honestly, if the Reds have a bad year, did they move Luis Castillo somewhere?
They could, yeah.
Or Trevor Bauer, last year of his contract? Or Sonny Gray? Like, do they move one of these guys for pieces?
They've definitely shown a willingness to wheel and deal, so...
They've shown that, and they've shown they want to win this year because they signed Moustakas, Castellanos. Like, they signed these guys.
Mm-hmm.
They made moves last year to bring in Bauer and Sonny Gray. Like, they've shown a willingness that they want to win this year. But if it doesn't work out and they're behind the 8 ball come trade deadline, Bauer, who's on a contract year, and Luis Castillo, who they can get a friggin' king's ransom for at this point.
Oh, God. Best change up in the game. Best change up in the game.
He's incredible. He's got incredible. Dude, I would love for the Twins to sign him. If the Reds are out of it.
There's that cuss word again.
Give me Luis Castillo. I'll trade you Royce Lewis. Give me Luis Castillo with another 2 years of control. Give me Luis Castillo to go with Barrios. And Odorizzi and Pineda and Rich Hill and all these guys going into the playoffs. I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, brought up the Twins again.
So there's that cuss word again.
Deep.
Gotta bleep that out.
But dude, honestly, I feel like with the Reds, like that makes a lot of sense. I just don't feel like I think they're too talented to completely fall off a cliff early on. And that's why I don't think they're going to be shipping. They're not going to be overly selling, I think, at the deadline just because I don't see them falling out of the race. Like, even 7 games back at the deadline, I think they're going to be, 4 or in the lead, 4 games under, or they're, closer to the top or even leading the division. So,
yeah, I agree. I don't see the Reds making the playoffs this year, but I think they're on the right track. I see them missing the playoffs. The same as I see the White Sox. I see the White Sox missing the playoffs in the AL. But I think they're both going to finish over 500. They're going to be there during the season. I just don't see them finishing it. Kind of like the Padres were last year. They were in the mix all year with the young players and everything like that. And it just August, September, it ran them down.
Yeah.
And it just fell apart. And they fell off, It's a long season. And I think the young guys just they don't have that stamina. And I think some of them fall off. And I think the Reds, along with the White Sox, I think you're just going to see that this year. I know the Reds got some veterans. I mean, they have Suarez been there for a while, Votto, obviously, Moustakas they signed, and guys like that. But I just think some of the
Castellanos
has been there. They have more veterans. I just don't see it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Although I was right last year in my prediction.
just to throw that in there.
I just gotta throw that in there too.
Just to brag a little bit.
Although I was right, so.
I mean, yeah. You can't be right every year, though. Come on.
Yeah. What's the fun in that? Be wrong on purpose, please.
We'll see. We'll see if we can be right every year. I don't know. I can't get right, so let's see what that tells
Okay, so I came up with the number, kind of based off of what you guys said, because I got to go fewer. But no, I honestly I think their floor is 84 wins, and when we know about injuries and stuff like that, it's the floor is lower than that. Everything could go bad and can turn to shit real fast. But I think their floor, as they're constructed with these guys healthy and playing like they can, I think their floor is 84 wins, and I think their ceiling is 91, something like that, 91, 92. I could even see them pushing, but I'm going to go just above their floor. I'm going to go 86 and 76. And I think they missed the playoffs. I don't know. I don't think they're making it as even a wild card, but there's going to be mayhem, complete mayhem, I think, so they're going to be in contention the entire way. And I just have them just missing the playoffs because I think that the NL itself and the division is just way too strong. And honestly, I could see the Reds finishing with a similar record to the Cardinals. I think I kind of see them as an 86-win team too this year. So I don't know. I mean, we could honestly see for the first time, or not first time, but we could see some lower record wild card teams this year because all of them are going to be beating up on each other so much, and like with the NL East and all that. And maybe that is part of the tie, with the 86 and 76, even though it's a little bit lower of a record than normal. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't like their rotation. It comes down to this. Like their lineup, it really doesn't overly scare me. Like Goldschmidt's good. Yachty isn't that great of a hitter. We know that at this stage. He's great defensively, but even now he's declining a little bit as far as mobility goes. But Wong's good. DeYoung's good. And Wong obviously one of the best, if not the best, defensive second baseman in the game. And then third base Edman, Carpenter, whoever's there. The outfield's like, I don't know. O'Neill could be really good. Harrison Bader is okay. And same thing with Fowler, but he hasn't lived up to his contract. The rotation to me, like Michaelis, or Miles Michaelis, however the hell you say his last name, he just doesn't scare me. If he's your number 3, if Martinez, let's say Carlos Martinez doesn't pitch as well as he used to as a starter, and he can't really be stretched out as much as a starter anymore, then you're relying on that other kid that you just signed. But you got Flaherty, who's great, and Dakota Hudson, who's a pitch-to-contact ground ball type pitcher, he's pretty solid, but I don't know. That rotation, I think they can get got, other than maybe a couple of them. And I could be wrong on that, but that's why I think 86 and 76.
That's fair.
And I'm hopeful thinking, obviously.
Okay. A little bit of bias in there.
You know.
Oh, because Alex, you never throw your bias on that.
Yeah. We never
Any
heard that
Yankees
before.
I'm talking about the AL.
I never talk about the Yankees. You talk about the Twins more than I talk about the Yankees.
That's because it's the first chance in years that I've got to talk about the Twins. You get to talk about the Yankees every year.
It's probably true.
Right.
Although I'm sure you're still finding someone to talk to him about.
They tweets about him enough.
No, yeah, I don't feel. I'm excited. I'm so excited for baseball. I don't feel overly confident with the Cubs, and nor should I. But I'm hopeful. It's baseball. We still have our core together for the most part. I mean, everybody's there, so why not? Let's make another run. You know, it's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Why not us?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not us? Exactly.
What was that
And
even?
David Ross, I'm gonna tell you right now, the speculation with Ross as far as getting on players always gonna be all buddy with them, that's a load of shit. David Ross was a coach and he was a motivator and he got on their asses as a player, you know, and being a catcher, obviously one of the smarter players on the field, usually at all times.
Catches the best manager.
Yeah, he's gonna get the best. He's gonna get the most out of these players. I truly believe it. And I'm not saying anything bad about Madden. He goes down in history as the greatest Cubs manager of all time. It's not a question. It's 3 straight NLCSs, the World Series, curse-breaking World Series. I mean, that's what Madden accomplished. And I mean, and he was I think it was Chris Bryant that said he was the perfect manager at the perfect time. Yeah. But you need a new voice sometimes, you know. And in this case, it's a familiar voice, but it's going to be it's going to be new. It's going to be all brand new, but just with the familiar voice. So. Yeah. I'm excited, man. I don't know.
And the Angels are doing the same thing. I mean, Mike Scioscia was there for how long? 19 years? Like, I mean,
yeah.
And now, and Joe Madden was his bench coach when they won in 2002.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's full circle here, and Joe Madden gets to go back to the Angels and coach Mike Trout.
Oh, and God.
Bring Anthony Rendon and, like, you know, this pitcher, like with Dylan Bundy and Shohei Ohtani, like he gets to do that. If he can bring, you know, honestly, Joe Madden, what you're talking about, he brought the curse-breaking World Series to the Cubs.
Mm-hmm. If
he can go to the Angels and bring Mike Trout a World Series.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like Theo Epstein, GM of history. Like, he brought the Red Sox a World Series. After 86 years, he brought the Cubs a World Series. I mean,
yeah. Nope. No doubt.
Put the plaque up in Cooperstown right now. Obviously, just put the plaque up right now
for both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, without doubt. Bochy, same thing. I mean, Bochy, when he gets nominated, he'll go in. 3 World Series in 5 years. Who does that? In the modern game. In the modern game with free agency and everything. Who does that?
Bochy's, man. Yeah, he was incredible.
Yeah. And don't forget, Bochy was managing the San Diego Padres when they played the Yankees in 1999.
Yeah. And he's still, and in 2015, I believe it was 15.
Padres to the World Series back in the Tony Gwynn, Trevor Hoffman era.
Oh, wow, that's right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so he did that. He didn't win it, but then he went to the Giants and won 3 World Series in 5 years. I mean, so, you know, same thing with Torre. I mean, Torre coached the Atlanta Braves, brought them to the playoffs in 82. Joe Torre was an MVP player as a catcher and third baseman. And then he brought the Atlanta Braves to the playoffs in 82. Never won, but it went to the Yankees and won 4 World Series in 5 years. So there you go. Bochy followed kind of the same path.
Yeah.
But Bochy was a good player too. Not as good as Torrey, but he was a solid catcher. Catchers always make the best coaches.
Oh yeah.
Torrey was a catcher. Bruce Bochy was the catcher. Mike Matheny was a catcher.
Molina would be a good great
Yeah.
manager too someday.
Dude, you look at all these guys. Brad Osmus was a catcher.
Yeah. Brad Osmus, yeah.
A lot of them are catchers. Yeah. But they're the captains on the field. They see everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
They know the pitching. And
they know the hitting too. They're trying to get hitters out. You know.
They know every aspect of the game. They see the field. They also see the fielding. They see the field in front of them. They see what their fielders do. They study the game. They know how the shifts work. They know how catchers are always the best. You know, they always make the best coaches, best managers. Always.
So not to make this, because I know it's a Cardinals pod, so I just figured we're on the catchers thing. So yeah, not to bash Marcos, but Molina's a Hall of Famer, no doubt, right? I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if first ballot because like I understand like that how that whole thing goes, and like I was one of the guys that wasn't voting for Jeter just this year because of all the guys I wanted to get in, and I understand the math behind it, but like Molina, and like nobody's questioning whether Jeter should ever be a Hall of Famer or not. Like he definitely should be and is deserving, and it will be now, but like. I feel like as good as he's been defensively, like he just has to be in there. I feel like I don't know.
I would agree. Molina's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I don't know if he gets in first ballot. But he'll be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he definitely is.
I would put him in. I'd vote him in. If I had a ballot, you know, I would vote him in. Because, you know, there's things that you got to look at other than just production on the field. Okay? And this is what the Hall of Fame is. It's the Hall of Fame. It's not just the Hall of the best baseball players ever. It's the Hall of Fame. So when you have someone who's been a face of a franchise, when you have someone who has played the most games ever for one franchise at the catcher position, when you have someone who's been with the same franchise for that long and who has been productive hitting and overly productive behind the plate, and I mean, there's so many things. I mean, Jeter, I would say Molina is just about as good as Jeter. Jeter was a much better hitter. Molina's a much better defensive player. However you want to do that, that's fine. And obviously the Cardinals aren't quite what the Yankees are, and you know, Jeter was the captain and they won multiple World Series and stuff like that. So the fame is there. The fame is there. Production on the field, Jeter is maybe a top 5 shortstop all time. Maybe. You know, he's still a Hall of Famer, no doubt about that. But the problem I have with everything, this whole discussion is that Jeter's like the greatest ever and everything like that. No, he's not. He's not close to what he was. He's not Cal Ripken.
No, he wasn't even the best in his prime. A-Rod, I believe. Like I think A-Rod was actually better than Jeter. Like to be honest, I mean
Jeter should have moved to third. But
yeah,
that's an argument for whatever. I mean,
yeah,
what it is, and you know,
that's for the what if.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, what if A-Rod was at shortstop and Jeter moved to third or second or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's all that. But I mean, yeah, with Yadi Molina, yeah, I put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, with the whole, it was funny. Like I was looking at the stats on WordPress for today, like, and that article is still getting views. Like I saw it it was getting like 30 some views today or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
30 today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It's like, I guess it's just people are looking up, like, is Yadier Molina a Hall of Famer?
Yeah. Well, they're going to look at it even more. This is last year in the league.
Yeah.
Once he comes up to the Hall of Fame, I mean, that article is going to be. It just keeps carrying it.
Wow, that's crazy.
It happens.
Pick it up.
Marcos lucked out with that. Being contrarian, so to speak.
Yeah. He knew it was going to fire people up, too. He knew that. So that's smart on his part.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Even if, I mean, we can even write articles that are controversial opinions, even if we don't believe it, like just to spark some conversation.
All right. As long as you have the argument to back it up on the other side, then shit, why not?
Yeah.
I should have been bolder with my Hall of Fame thing and should have said Derek Jeter is not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Although in my article, I didn't put him in there. And it's funny because one person didn't put him in. They must have thought.
I'm actually kind of happy, like that. I mean, I shouldn't say happy. Like I'm not affected by it either way, but like I'm kind of happy that one person didn't, because like it kind of goes to show you, like, and that's the thing. Like I think we've talked about this before. Like if you're not putting Jeter in, I think you need to put all 10 of your slots. Like you have to vote for 10 players if you're not putting Jeter in. Otherwise, like Jeter's a Hall of Famer.
My whole point was, and that was my whole point of my article, was I have 10 other players that I think are either more deserving than Jeter or deserve my vote more because they're going to either fall off the ballot or they need my help. Right. Jeter didn't need my help. So if I have a vote, why am I going to vote for Jeter? I know he's going to get in.
Right,
What's
absolutely.
The point? Why does he need my vote? And this whole first ballot and this whole unanimous thing. Now the unanimous thing has become a big deal. Even a bigger deal now that Mariano got in unanimously. So now it's even more, and it's just ridiculous. First of all, Jeter shouldn't be unanimous. He wasn't the greatest shortstop ever. Mariano Rivera was the greatest closer ever, and you could never argue it. It's like football. Greatest receiver ever is Joey Rice. Can you argue that? I suppose you can say it. But really?
Well, could you argue it? Probably somebody could find a way to, but
let's put it this way. Greatest hockey player ever, Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
Can you argue that? Can you argue? He has more assists than other players have points. I mean, you argue that Wayne Gretzky's not the greatest Hall of Famer ever, not the greatest hockey player ever. No, you can't. You can't even say anything. Can't argue it. Same thing with Mariano. He's the greatest closer ever. No argument. You can't even make an argument.
Right.
Postseason, regular season, whatever you want to say. When you have that where there's no argument and you're the greatest at your position, then you should be 100%. Derek Jeter can't say that. He's not the greatest shortstop ever. He shouldn't be unanimous. Sorry. That's it. That's my point to that whole thing, too, is that he's not the greatest shortstop ever. So he shouldn't be unanimous. Mariano was. He was the greatest closer ever. He should be unanimous.
I'm gonna write an article defending the Astros. See how many views it gets.
Dude, I was actually thinking about picking up the preview and defending their case to win the division. Like just because, like, I don't know. I feel like their offense arguably got better this offseason, and even though they're gonna like deal with a lot of controversy and they're gonna deal with this all season, maybe they're getting all this shit out of the way now because they're dealing with the boos. They're dealing with the shit all throughout preseason, through spring training. Maybe this actually helps them to be able to play a full season. I mean,
Astros don't make the playoffs.
I don't know, man. They're still gonna be good though. I think their offense got better. They're gonna get Alvarez for a full season.
500 team.
They're gonna get Tucker. If
That's
Tucker
fine.
takes over right field, their pitching got worse for sure.
Yeah, big time worse.
And then they lost Cole. Yeah, but like they're getting McCullers back in, and Urquidy's not bad.
You got McCullers back in? That's fine. Good for him. Is he going to pitch 20 games?
I don't know. Is he going to pitch more than 5?
Gosh. What's Forrest Whitley? Who do they have in their starting rotation other than Verlander and Greinke?
Yeah, but that's a solid 2 though. If you can get production, if you say, what if you get Forrest Whitley coming up and pitching well, or you know what I mean? Like,
yes, there's a lot of ifs though with the Astros.
There are. But I'm just saying, I could see it with that lineup if they don't crack completely. I could see them making a run because there's other question marks as far as pitching goes in the rest of that division.
I'll tell you what, I don't think the lineup is like. Altuve is a year older. He had a knee injury last year. He doesn't run as well as he used to. Alex Bregman, his hard hit, his metrics don't fit what he did last year. I see a little bit of regression. Not a lot, a little bit. He's still a good player. He's like a great play discipline. I'll give him that. Okay. George Springer can't stay healthy. Neither can Correa.
Right.
Gurriel is 37 years old. He'll regress. And his metrics didn't look good last year. I'm sorry, but I just don't see. They're a talented team still, but with the moves the Angels made and the A's still there and even getting better, they got Montas and Luzardo in that rotation and Minaya for a whole year. I'm sorry, but I don't see the Astros. I just don't see the Astros making the playoffs. I don't. I see them winning like 85 games, 86, 87 even. But I see the Angels winning maybe 90 and the Rays and Yankees in the East. And then you got the Twins and even the Indians. If they don't trade everybody, Clevenger, Bieber, even Savali, Carrasco comes back if he's healthy this year. I don't know, man. I just don't see the Astros making it this year. I just don't. Even talent-wise. And that's aside from all the shit they're going to have to deal with on the road. So, I just don't know. I just don't see it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate in a way because I don't really see them winning that division. Like, I'm more playing devil's advocate here. But I could see a scenario where they do because, like you said, are those guys going to stay healthy? If they do, though, like they haven't really had that with Springer or Correa. They haven't had Alvarez for a full season. They haven't had Tucker really at all. I mean, if those guys are there, like I could just see a way that maybe they do produce and maybe they get. I mean, right now their over/unders at like 94.5, I think.
I'd take the under on that.
Yeah, I would take the under too. Yeah, for sure. I think that's safe money taking the under.
But what you're saying, I agree with. I mean, I could see the upside too. I mean, if Correa, Springer, and Altuve, all these guys are healthy, and Forrest Whitley comes in and pitches like he should, Josh James makes the rotation, Lance McCullers may be healthy for 25 starts. I can say it.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I'm playing devil's advocate the other way and saying, well, this is injuries and this is this and this is that. I mean, they have the Astros out of all the teams, honestly, probably have the largest swing as far as I look at it now. Had the largest swing in win-loss. They could win 100 games again.
Yeah, they could, and they could bottom out in 500.
Well, they can finish 500. I mean, they have a large swing. depending on health and how they handle everything.
Who's kind of similar that way, and it's gonna hurt my soul to say this, but you could probably already guess that as I'm talking. Yeah, the Cubs swing. They don't have the 100 game potential, I don't think, but winning. But they could win if everything goes well and everybody plays like we think they can. They could win 93 games, but they could also bottom out and completely go maybe under 500.
Yeah, I could see that.
At least that's what I think.
Because Al's got to get it back on track. All right.
Let's go. Let's get.
I was gonna say this turned into an Astros pod.
And then back to a Cubs Twins.
Cubs Twins Astros.
They're horrible. Alex is never gonna have us on anymore.
We're such idiots. Like, we're so smart, but like we're such idiots at the same time.
We just go on and on. All right. So sidetracked.
We did. Oh, I didn't even give my prediction. Did you guys give your predictions?
Yeah, we did.
I think we did predictions.
Yeah, we did the win totals.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah. Oh, what was left then?
Oh, I guess that's it. Just wrapping up, like saying goodbye.
Oh. Bye.
Oh.
Dylan Carlson could come up too this year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Dylan All right, we're done.
That's it. So Cardinals. That's it for the Cardinals. Even though we talked about random other crap, whatever.
I just didn't know if he got mentioned, so I apologize.
But yeah, that's it. That's that. Cardinals are winning the division again, much to Joey's disdain.
They're not winning this year.
But yeah, that's it for this pod. Continue our series. We have just a few left now, so listen to the other ones. Go back, listen, and probably just whoever your team is, you want to listen to whatever podcast it is. So yeah, you find that if you look back through the pod, all the episodes are there for every team so far, except for now just the Braves, Astros, Nationals are yet to come. So check those out on every podcast platform. Give us review, rate us on there. So 5-star rating would be appreciated. We'll just throw that out there. But yeah, it's just a reminder, you can never have too much pod tower. I'll be back